Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Legendary Leaders. I am your host, Katrina Jameson. I am the founder of Legend Leaders, where we arm business leaders with the strategies they need to live life on their terms, a legendary life. Well, happy Halloween week. We're in the last week of October. No doubt, whether you have kids, dogs, cats, it doesn't matter. You're just yourself, right? No doubt you're probably gearing up for Halloween, maybe having a get together, depending upon how safe it is. I wish you a very happy and safe Halloween, no matter what you decide to do. Let's go ahead and wrap up the topic that we've been talking about this month. We've been talking about starting our own businesses. I tackle this topic regularly. I've moved through the high-level questions that I get on a regular basis already through the month. We tackled the, should I start my own business, right? What business should I start? And then number 3 is creating my roadmap. We decided in in week number 2, that we must create businesses that generate revenue. Well, last week we talked about how do we confirm that it's going to make revenue. We create a business plan. We create our framework, our operating framework for our business. It's our business plan. It really defines all the key pieces and fundamentals for our business. And then today we're going to spend a little bit of time talking about how. Yes, finally, we're going to talk about how. Now, I would tell you that last week is the bulk of the how. If you missed it, creating that business plan is really your how. It defines how your business operates, and your revenue strategy, right? Your projections for 3 years really defines how your business is going to operate in the first 3 years of its life, right? Its business life. So if you missed that episode, go check it out. That's going to have a lot of the whys that you're going to define. Today, I want to talk about one of the big hows. We touched on it a little bit last week, but this week is the how as it relates to money, as it relates to getting things off the ground, investment money. How do I invest money in my business to get it started? It's one of the most critical questions that I get on a regular basis, and I answer it often. And you can definitely go back into prior episodes and listen to some of the things that I've shared, right? And again, this is high level. What I want to say before I go any further, right, is if you're at this point in your business and you've created your business plan and you're ready to jump in, if you have not spoken to an attorney to help you better understand the key business aspects for things in your state or the state in which you're going to operate in primarily, and you haven't spoken to someone at the bank just to understand your options or the details around funding your business, then I would highly encourage you to do that. Again, I'm giving you very high level, basic information that will help you calm some of those thoughts down and help you go, oh, okay, well, that's a good point, Katrina. Let me go ask someone else the next level of questions, okay? So some of these next level questions could be me as a strategist, a business strategist, but definitely the people that you want to have supporting you in your business is an attorney and someone at the bank. And there's a multitude of reasons for that. We can go through and have our own session on just those 2 things alone, but I don't want to dive into that today. I'm just encouraging you to include them in your planning process. All right. Now, let's talk about getting our business off the ground from a financial perspective, right? The saying goes, you got to have money, you got to invest money to make money, right? You got to spend money to earn money. All of those things we hear all the time, and it's true to a degree. The degree is whatever you put in your business plan to get you started, your startup costs, that's the degree of investment that you need to have, okay? And no doubt, if you have more money, you probably can run even faster and generate even more revenue. And so you've got to find the balance. Do I want to invest a little and slowly ramp and go? Do I want to invest a lot and run really quickly? The only person that can decide that is you, and there's no wrong answer, but it is a decision that you must make. And the way that you can decide that is you can decide how much money you want to invest as part of the startup costs in order to get your business off the ground. So that's number 1. How much money do I want to invest based off of my startup costs? And if the startup costs are small and you want to move forward on your own, and there are 4 ways that you can fund your business. So the first one is doing it on your own, pulling your savings, taking a little bit of the paycheck you receive every single day if you're still working your day job, and putting that over and investing in your business. You may have a 401k that you want to look into drawing out of. Now, again, please speak to someone before you take action on that. Okay, I'm not giving you guidance or direction to doing it. I'm simply saying that you have to be aware it is a pathway. But every pathway that I'm going to present to you has its risks and its benefits. And you, as a new business owner, has to decide which one of these pathways or a combination of pathways are you willing to pursue. So pathway number one is, after you've looked at your business plan, after you've figured out what your startup costs are, you look and say, okay, how am I going to have the money to start my business? Pathway number one, you pay for it yourself. You look at all the different ways that you have, either in the bank, through your savings account, your regular check that you receive from your day job, your 401k. Those pathways are possibilities. You've got to decide if that's the pathway for you. Pathway number two, you may have home equity lines of credit, right? Like you have equity in your home and you could take a line of credit out on your home in order to fund the startup for your business. It happens quite regularly, right? But again, that's where you have to have a conversation with the bank to understand if that's a viable pathway for you. It may not be, right? If you take out something against your home and your business is not successful, then you're going to have to be able to pay back. If you have a mortgage on your home, you have to pay your mortgage and the line of credit, the money that you borrowed. Because your home equity line of credit is essentially taking out a credit card backed by your home. And you've got to be able to pay everything back. Okay, so it's a smart decision. And the only person that can make that decision is you. Option number three, and I've mentioned this before, is going and getting a bank loan or an SBA loan, right? An SBA loan is Small Business Administration. The SBA backs small business loans, right? They guarantee with the bank a percentage of the loan. It's like 75%, 80%, something like that, depending upon the loan that you take out. The bank gives you the money. You put in a percentage, right? 10 to 20%. The bank covers the variance, right? So they cover a little bit. So let's say the SBA covered 80%, okay? Let me just use this example. And you needed to give 10%. And the bank will cover the other 10%. So if you default, you've lost your 10%, the bank will lose their 10%, but the SBA will cover the other 80, right? So it depends on the SBA loan that you get approved for as to how much they'll cover, what the bank is willing to cover, how much you need to bring to the table. There's a lot of variabilities. It's why a banker can be your best friend, to learn your options. You just want to learn your options. Doesn't mean you've got to go down that path, but know if that's a path for you or not. And you won't know until you go have the conversations, okay? The other thing that you need to be aware of is that if you go to a bank and you partner and you get an SBA loan, the bank will put a lien on anything that is tangible, as a tangible asset. So your home, any rental property, if you own the office that you're going to be working out of or the land that you're going to be, working off of, they're going to put a lien against that. They want their money back if your business isn't successful. And that's how they guarantee your loan. You've got to be willing to accept that. And that's just part of it with an SBA or a bank loan. So just be prepared. If that's a pathway you're comfortable taking, awesome. If it's not, it's not. And then the fourth pathway is investors, right? There's a lot of investors out there. And there's a lot of different types of investors, right? There's going through and getting like these corporate investment funding companies to come in and they will come in and it'll take them 6 months at least to do the full assessment of your business idea and then all the legal aspects. It's a long process, but these hedge funds and all these different groups can come in and give you money if you have the right business. You could have a local investor, you could have a family investor, right? And that takes less time. It's just them giving you the money and signing the paperwork and drawing up an agreement. And that agreement is going to entail the percentage of the business they're going to own for investing, and then if they're going to be a silent partner or an active partner. And if you want investors because you don't want to put all the money up yourself, and you don't want a bank loan, right, or take out any type of equity line against your home, for example, an investor may be the pathway to go. But then you must decide how much investment money are you wanting, what percentage of the company are you allowed to, or willing rather, to give to those investors as part of their investment? And then what type of investor are you willing to partner with? A silent investor, an active hands-on investor? If it's an investor that knows a significant amount about the business you're getting into, you may want to have them be an active part of the business. They're probably going to help you be successful, but that may not be the pathway for you. And that's the awesome thing about owning your own business, is that you get to decide and define what business you start, what your projections look like, what your startup costs are going to be based on how fast you want to get started and all the things that you're going to invest in, and then how you're going to invest the money. What does that look like, and where is it going to come from? All of those decisions are yours. And while that may sound scary, at the same time, it is empowering. And so I want you to realize that you are empowered to start any business you choose to start, and you can fund it in any way that you want to. Just simply decide now which pathways are viable for you, which ones you want to pursue, and then continue to work down those pathways. You're not going to get started tomorrow unless you're paying for it yourself, okay? Because the money's right there. Otherwise, it's going to take building some relationships, expanding your network, asking questions, learning a lot more information. There's a ton of resources that exist out there for those individuals just like you who are trying to learn. And maybe you will never pursue an SBA loan, but wouldn't it be nice to have the knowledge so that you can confidently say with a little bit of education, no, that pathway is not for me? Well, that's where I want you to be. I want you to be an educated business owner. I want you to be smart. I want you to know all your options, all the facets of them, and then you can make that decision and move forward confidently because you know you've made the decision that's right for you. Okay? So this is the biggest how, is how am I going to fund my business? How am I going to pay for the startup costs? And, a couple of months moving forward as I increase my revenue. Well, these are the pathways. There are 4 pathways, and you can do a combination of all 4 if you so choose, right? That's what you can do. If you want to learn more about how to start your business, okay, and what that will look like for you on a personal level, I'm encouraging you to reach out to me, right? Send me an email at katrina@legendleaders.com. Katrina@legendleaders.com. Send me an email. I will respond. Let me know what additional questions you have. I'd love to shoot you a quick video or get on the phone with you and let's figure out how to move you forward. Starting a business is no joke, but it is absolutely doable. You just need the right resources. And I assure you that we can get them for you and get you the strategies that you need. Okay? So that's your next step. If you've done step 1, 2, and 3, step 4 is figuring out your funding, and you are on the path for that. So go make those decisions and get educated. As always, go and be legendary.